Welcome to this episode of Glasscast, a podcast from Glass Magazine and the National Glass Association. My name is Rachel Vitello. I'm the Associate Editor for Glass Magazine and Window and Door Magazine. I'm joined today by Steve Balik, the
Hello.
Vice President of Business Development at General Glass International, and Spencer Raymond, the Director of Business Development at GGI. We're here today to talk about GGI's 125th anniversary, which also happens to align with Glass Magazine's own 75th anniversary. So some very exciting milestones happening this year.
Stars aligned.
I know. So I'm hoping we can just start off with you guys telling me, what does it take to stay in business for over a century?
It's a great question. I think that, as representing the fifth generation of my family's business, family owned and operated since 1900, it's, you hope to be able to learn what to do and also what not to do. You hope you can embrace the things and the experience of the past generations, and also realize that for growth you need to put your own flavor on the path of the company. Adapting to the market is obviously a big one. We've made many investments over the years. I think one of the things that we pride ourselves most on is reinvesting in our company over and over and over again, while also trying to create a good company culture and making people like Spencer and anyone else. Spencer's been at the company for about 16 years, and we have a lot of longevity, a lot of people who have been at the company 20, 30, 40 years, and we try and find that mixture of outside influence and experience and the internal knowledge that gets passed down generation over generation. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think a big thing for us is consistency. I think that the organization is able to go in year after year, investing in its people and its processes and its products to develop new things and stay on the cutting edge consistently.
Awesome. So you guys mentioned, these investments in the company and in the people and whatnot.
Yeah.
So tell me about, with that, what are some triumphs that the company has had over, the many years that you've been in business that you are most proud of?
If I could speak first about my experience, I joined the company in 2009, and that was right as we made the investment to be the first company in the U.S. to do digital ceramic printing to glass. So that was a really exciting time for me. It was also a very scary time due to the housing crisis. So it was kind of it was a roller coaster ride from the start. And those experiences that we had for those first few years, the first project we ever did, I think the Harlem Hospital, still our most ambitious project to date. 450 unique panels, a full city block long mural of art that really completely changed the neighborhood. And we take a lot of pride in being resilient like that, but also having an impact on the built environment and neighborhoods, and having an art can truly change a neighborhood, and it's become a building material you can really put personality on. So that for me it was one of the most exciting reasons I joined the company at the time. We've had some negative experiences over the years. We tried to we launched a float plant in the 80s that didn't work out. Obviously you could go all the way back to the 1900s. There were crashes, there were a lot of different things. But I think just getting back up and pushing forward, and knowing that even the pain will come back. Pain is temporary, and what keeps you on the map is not getting too bogged down and on that negative side, and keeping morale high, and having a really tight unit to navigate through those tough times is a really helpful for all of us, I think.
I think the responses to the business that's constantly evolving, and the way we're able to respond and work together as a team to find new directions and paths that work for us is really a true triumph of the organization.
Yeah, definitely. So you guys already touched on this a little bit when it comes to challenges, some challenges that you've experienced and how you overcame that. But, I'd like to dive into that a little bit deeper. What are some challenges GGI has had over the past century, and how did you rise above that to, maintain such a successful business?
It's a great question. Every day in some ways is a challenge. I think that one challenge that is constant, and something that myself and Spencer both focus on a lot, is the challenge of people. With growth comes the need for more people. With growth and expansion of technology involves different types of knowledge bases and types of employees that we need to find. So the hiring is a challenge. constantly to sort of, there's a lot of learning and training that goes on, and we really, we focus on making sure that we can bring someone in with the right attitude and get them to learn the machinery because we have that wealth of knowledge internally. Between the office and the manufacturing floor and the outside sales, we have about 250 people at the company. So, it's no small task. It's a lot of personalities, and we take a lot of pride in, providing a good experience, a good work experience, a good life experience, something for people to go home and talk about with their families and friends about what kind of work they're doing. As far as like machinery challenges, we attempted to get into the IGU business with some of our investments. I think the nature of continually reinvesting in your company is you're never going to hit bat 1,000. And to, again, just not get bogged down in that, make sure we give it our all. And if you dwell for too long on the problem, you're not actually trying to solve it at that point. And I think that that's a mentality that we truly embrace. The business needs change over time, and all the machinery is very expensive, as many people will see walking around here. There's some really high-tech stuff that can be great. And then your business changes and you're dealing with heavier thickness glass that tempering oven wasn't really designed for, or other things of that nature that are just happening, not constantly, but over the years. I would say there's a through line of, all right, out with the old, in with the new, where are we headed? Every 3 to 5 years we try and have a new 3-5 year plan, and a lot of that involves capital expansion or investments in CapEx. And there's a million moving parts every day it's tough to navigate, but we're able to do it, and I think we take a lot of pride in that.
I think we're very accepting of the challenges. It's a difficult industry. Like as a nature of it, we're one of the last trades into a building. It's a very complicated product. It's very fragile material. So we understand that the industry as a whole is complicated, and there's going to be challenges in everything. And Stephen and I are both multi-generational in this industry. So, we have the benefit of not having many choices other than knowing this and growing up in this world. So I feel like those benefits help us to just structure our framework of accepting the challenges and trying to overcome them collaboratively as a team or as an industry.
I would just actually add to that and say, we started out as an importer-exporter, and we weren't a fabricator back then. And this year especially, the tariffs have made importing glass extremely difficult, and something that can be very dynamic, changing month to month or sometimes even week to week, the way that certain things are getting negotiated. And we bank on that history that we're not getting all of our glass from one country, one supplier. So having that balance allows for us to ride those waves. And I would say the same for our balance of day-to-day work and project work. Sometimes projects get pushed back. We have multiple different sales channels that allow us to sort of level out and ride those waves and not get so down so soon.
And so you both mentioned that you are two people who grew up in this industry and grew up in this world, and then the company that you work for also has, over a century of experience. So as we're entering a time where a lot of companies are experiencing challenges with tariffs and supply chain disruptions, what is advice that you would give to companies that are experiencing those challenges right now?
I think be diligent. I think there's going to always be challenges, and continue to be diligent, look for different options and source through it. There are a lot of challenges. There's a lot of specificity that goes into each one of those categories, and taking a look at your options and working with your vendors and your partners throughout the industry to collaborate, identify what your situations are, and speak candidly with your partners.
Yeah. And I would add to that, we have decades-long relationships with our suppliers. You can't do that overnight, obviously. That's something that just comes. But I think that, treating people with respect and knowing that everyone's stressed during those kinds of times really goes a long way, because you end up getting, maybe some priority or at least an honest answer. I think everyone, even if they're receiving bad news about a shipment or something, prefers honesty, even though that can be the hardest thing to do. You always want to, give them some sort of comfort, and sometimes the brutal truth is the best form of practice there. So.
Definitely. All right, great. Well, my last question for the two of you is, after 125 years in business, what's next at GGI? What's new?
Well, I think just cutting back to the what we've been talking about, we're going to continue to reinvest. We've added a new laminating line very recently, and I think exploring other divisions outside of Division 8 is something that we feels natural to us. Products that can be not so taxing on the square footage of our facility or the amount of people needed to run it, but that can be a real new sales channel for us. We're exploring all of those types of options. We've got a 140,000 square foot facility and it's packed to the brim, and you got to get creative. And I think with our experience, some of our new products are mix and match combos of existing technologies, and just I think having that eye and that creative background and care of the cool products. I mean, Spencer, what came from the product development side, and we still both are playing a huge hand in what you see at our booth here, and just keeping up with the trends and also truly trying to get ahead of them, and so we're excited about it.
Yeah, a lot of organic iterations on our existing products, and like Steven said, focusing outside of Division 8, looking at more complete turnkey systems that solve the needs of the industry. I mean, this is a very exciting company to be a part of. 125 years in business is very, very substantial, and it's a testament to the industry, and it's a provider to the industry, and the organization's approach overall, I think, is really exciting to see that deepen over the years.
Yeah, and I just think we take a whole lot of pride in a world that is continually heading towards not making anything real anymore, that we're in an industry where we are like really adding value to the world that we experience, whether that's, for health, safety, welfare with sunlight or art on the side of a building. Yeah, we're not doing click-through ads and we're not creating clickbait, we're creating real things, and I think that we just take a lot of pride in that. We know how much work goes into getting a piece of glass installed in a building, and we try and make everyone's lives easier that we work with. In some ways, it's kind of a lifestyle brand with our relationship with our glazers, so yeah.
Great, awesome. Well, that was all I had for the two of you, so I want to thank you for joining me today, and thank you to our viewers for watching Glasscast live at GlassBuild.
Yeah. All right, well, thanks, Rachel.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right.